Let's change the oil in this 2016 Nissan Sentra. All you should need is a drain pan for your old oil, a filter, a 6607 filter of your preferred brand, and some 0W20 motor oil. I like to use the Valvoline Full Synthetic. You'll need probably a couple rags. I like to wear rubber gloves when I take the filter off, just to keep oil off my hands. And a 14mm wrench is what fits the drain bolt. Like most people, I don't have a lift, so we're just going to be doing this right here in the garage, or you can do it in the driveway. It's not that hard of a job. So start your car up, let it warm up at least a couple of minutes. I like to drive it up onto a big 2x10 or 2x8 piece of board I have, one on each tire, just to give myself another 1.5 inches or so of clearance. You can drive your car up onto a ramp if you have ramps, but you don't have to do that. You can reach it. Like I said, I just drive it onto a little board there. It gives me enough clearance. So the first thing we're going to do is crack the oil fill cap, which is right here. If there's leaves or debris in there, blow that out, of course. But we're just going to open that up so that there's air flow, lets that oil drain out easier underneath. Now we're going to go underneath the car and loosen up the drain bolt. Okay, so we're under the car here. I've got a drain pan handy. I've got a rag around me. Got my 14mm wrench. And we're just going to loosen up and remove this drain bolt here. So lefty loosey. Okay, get your drain pan handy and take that bolt out. And there goes the oil. Set your bolt on the rag you should have laying there. Next thing we're going to want to do is get that filter out. So the filter on these cars is really in an easy spot. So you've got the oil draining out, you can see, and just go forward towards the front of the car a little bit. Right in front of the oil pan, you'll see the filter right. This is right here. So it's really easy to get to. Go ahead and loosen that with your hand. It should only be hand tight. Now, if you can get the drain pan in a position to where it's still catching the oil from the drain bolt, and allow you to pull this filter off so it'll drain, a little oil will be coming out there too. There it goes. So I'm catching that oil in the drain pan from the filter. This is why I like to wear a glove, because it's going to get all over you. Here we go. I'm just going to let that drain for a few minutes. Okay, clean up your drain bolt. If your car has been dripping oil a little bit, you could possibly need a new copper washer on the drain plug, but that's pretty rare to need a new one. My car's a few years old now, and I'm still using the original one with no leaks. Okay, now the new filter obviously will have a new rubber O-ring on it. So we want to take some new motor oil, get your finger wet with some new motor oil and wet that down. That way when you screw the new filter on, it's able to seat properly against your engine block. Now, when you remove your old filter, have a look at it. Make sure that old rubber O-ring is still on your old filter. You don't want that to be missing. If it's missing, it could be stuck up on the block where it mounts. And then when you put your new filter on, you might have two O-rings and the oil will leak past. So just make sure your old O-ring came off. Have a look up at your engine block before you put your new filter on, which I did that before I put my new one on here, but wanted to show you that. Okay, we're back under the car. I'm letting that drain bolt still drip out some oil, but I've gone ahead and cleaned up the oil filter mounting area. Wipe off the excess oil, make sure the block is clean. And then once you're satisfied with the cleanliness, let's go ahead and put your new filter back on. So righty-tighty. Make sure you don't cross-thread it. If it's too tight, if it feels too tight when you're starting it, take it off and make sure it's started straight. You should be able to spin it really freely. You'll know it's on there right. So once it contacts the engine, you're going to rotate it about another full turn. You always only tighten these hand tight. You never use a wrench on the oil filter. That's about as tight as you need to get the filter. Now, we're gonna go ahead and let that drip out a little bit longer, and once it kind of gets to a stopping point or slows down significantly, we'll go ahead and put that drain bolt back in. Okay, my oil is just about stopped dripping here, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this drain bolt in. So, still dripping just a hair, so I'm gonna make sure you clean your drain bolt plug off so it's not dirty. We're just gonna start it in here for like 2 threads. We're just gonna start it for a couple of threads so that it will stop the drip. This will allow us to push this pan out of the way and clean it up properly before we tighten it down the rest of the way. Okay, let's get that tightened up then, righty-tighty. And I don't usually torque these, but Google will tell you it's 20 foot-pounds of torque, which is not very much. These things, again, this is not a very strong metal in the drain pan, so you don't want to over torque it and strip that out, because you could cost yourself a whole heck of a lot of money if you strip that drain plug out or cross thread it. So again, if it doesn't feel like it's in there right, it's probably not. Take it out, make sure it starts straight. All right, now go ahead and remember, righty-tighty. Won't take a whole lot. 20 foot-pounds of torque isn't much. I'll probably do a little more than that, but all right, now that's plenty tight enough. Now we're done under here. You can go ahead and get your drain pan out of here and your light and any rags. Okay, get yourself a clean funnel in the oil fill port, and we're going to add 4 1/4 quarts since we did change the filter. Now these big jugs usually come in 5 quarts sizes, so you're not going to need the whole jug. Remember that. So you'll have to stop at some point and kind of see what you have left in the jug and put in 4 1/4 quarts. While you're under the hood, it's a good time to go ahead and check your windshield washer fluid and make sure your battery isn't too corroded or anything like that. Check the date on your battery if you can see the date sticker on it. Make sure you're in decent shape under here. To dispose of the old oil, I like to just pour it back into another one of these old containers that's empty, of big oil jugs there, and I go ahead and I take that back into the like AutoZone or a parts store like that, and they'll take your old oil and dispose of it properly. Now we're going to start the car up and make sure we don't have any oil leaks. We're all good. After you've started your car and let it warm up a little bit, go ahead and park it in a level area. Give it a few minutes for the oil to kind of settle back down into the drain pan, and then go ahead and check your oil using the dipstick like you would normally. Make sure that it's in the proper range there, and you should be all good to go. I just reset this, but I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do it. So I'm in a 2016 Sentra, so my steering wheel buttons may look a little different than yours, but I'm going to use this little square screen button to change things on my menu here until I get to this screen. I'll go down to maintenance. I'm using this toggle here on the steering wheel. We'll go into oil and filter. I've already reset mine, but if you have not yet, click the reset, pick yes, and you're done. So up above that here, where I've got mine set to remind me at 8,000 miles, because I use the synthetic oil, which is recommended to be replaced 7,500 to 10,000 miles. You can change this reminder to anything you want to. And if you use conventional oil, you need to do it at least every 5,000 miles. But that's how you reset it. So I hope this video helped everybody out. If this did, give me a thumbs up, and thanks for watching. And go ahead and give me a follow on YouTube to see some other helpful Nissan Sentra videos that I've already got posted, and I'll be posting some more in the future. So thanks again, and don't be afraid of doing this yourself. Thanks.